everybody, today I'm going to be revisiting the original Xbox in 2021. Now if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. So today I'm going to be revisiting a console that I grew up with personally, and why I think it's still worth a purchase in 2021. Alright, so let's review the actual console first, because there's a lot to say. The first thing is, holy crap, this thing is massive. And you can break a window with this thing. Does it take away from the actual experience? No, I don't think so. Even though it's massive, it's like, something about it is in a way where it's like nostalgic to me. And this whole console is. I think I have one of the earlier models because if you look on the footage here, these disk drives that they featured in the original Xboxes, the early models, they were known to fail. And sometimes they wouldn't even read the discs at all. And a lot of people had problems with it. So yeah, so the overall build of the actual original Xbox is really good. It's really heavy though. Like, it's not the most portable console in the world. The front has 4 controller ports. The eject button is actually on the top, which is kind of weird. But I used to think it was kind of weird, but I actually got used to it. There's the power button right there, so it's the smaller button that actually powers the console. And this is what ejects it. The thing about this console is, you can also play DVDs on here. It was back when DVDs were really starting to catch on. VHS were like a thing in the past, basically. There's this add-on you could put on a third controller port called a DVD player external. So basically, if you hook up a wireless remote and have some batteries, you can connect this to the original Xbox and actually watch DVDs on here. And it's actually really cool because, like, not very many other consoles had that at the time. Bruh. The GameCube didn't. And the GameCube took mini discs, so it kind of missed an opportunity to play actual DVDs and stuff. So yeah, so I think I have one of the early models because it's like the disc drive's different compared to the later ones. But I also do like the actual like logo. I really like that. And it took standard AV. That was pretty common back then because HDMI wasn't quite there yet. But there's something really cool that, even though it doesn't really work that much anymore, you have an Ethernet cable right here, or an Ethernet port. I know Sega Dreamcast did do it before, and that was unheard of at the time, but this was also unheard of at the time too, where you could connect it to Xbox Live and play with other people and stuff. It was kind of a new idea. The fact that you could do that back in 2001 wasn't very common. It wasn't in mainstream consoles other than this one. So here's the main menu. I really like this like ambiance of like the Xbox sounds and stuff. Something about it so relaxing. So the memory, I actually did mod this console, but I undid it because it just didn't feel the same without the original experience. And then here you could put an audio CD in here. So if you wanted to play some music from like an official CD, you could. I'm not sure if it works with burn CDs because like that's kind of piracy and stuff. And the settings, there's a couple settings I want to bring up. Here's the video. There's 480p, 720p, and 1080i. So basically 1080i was unheard of at this time. It wasn't very common at all. To my knowledge, there was only a couple of games that really supported it and looked good. And you could also do like the screen settings of widescreen, letterbox, or normal, or default. So the fact that back in 2001 you could do 1080i was pretty insane, but not very many games supported it. So right here I'm running Need for Speed Underground 2 on an HDMI adapter on a capture card, and it looks pretty good. Sometimes the games show their age a little bit if you use HDMI, because something like the original GTA, it kind of shows its age a little bit because it's on HDMI. But most of the games run pretty good on a HDMI capture card. Need for Speed 2 Underground 2 is probably one of my favorite games on the original Xbox because it just has a nostalgic vibe and the soundtrack's really good. Here's some footage of Splinter Cell. And the thing about this game is, if you do it on HDMI, I don't think it looks as good as it could, but it's not like terrible. There's also one thing I want to discuss is, you all know this game controller from the original Xbox, but way early in the original Xbox's life, there was a controller called the Duke controller. This is what it looks like. Yeah, I know, people crap on this controller all the time because it's like, 1, it's huge. 2, people say, 2, the buttons are kind of weird in that way. I'm gonna say an opinion that not very many people share with me. I actually like this controller.
What?
Like, I play this one with it all the time. A lot of people don't like this controller, but I actually like it better than the later version, which not very many people agree with me on that. Because I have bigger hands and stuff, something about the later model of the original Xbox controller, it felt kind of like a toy. But this kind of feels like a big, I know it's bulky, I know it's massive, but I love it. I don't know why people hate this controller so much. Yeah, the buttons are kind of angled in a weird way, but I really love it, so that's kind of an unpopular opinion of mine. Yeah, so that's me just revisiting the original Xbox. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for your support recently. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.